Okay, we're going.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Kelly Norman, and I'm a diamond ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. So I thought I would just start out with sharing my story because some of you haven't heard possibly my story. And so when I figured out, I've been in Plexus almost 5 years. So that is crazy. Every time I say five, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it because it seems like yesterday. But 5 years ago, almost, I joined Plexus. It'll be in February. Um, Before I joined Plexus, I was actually looking for a financial opportunity. Okay, so my husband and I had just bought a Papa John's pizza franchise a few years earlier, and we were partners with a guy in that. Long story short, it ended up not working. And so we found ourselves owing like $200,000, $250,000 because of this failed business. Okay, so I am praying at this time for a financial opportunity to get us out of debt. Actually, we had refinanced our small ranch for this, and we're in a place that we never thought we would be. Now, my husband's a car salesman. He has his own car lot. He's always made great money, but we didn't have retirement, and that's what we were looking for. So here we are. I'm praying and I'm asking for an opportunity about for just God to bring me an opportunity to bring finances into our home. Now, about this time, my sister starts putting her husband on Plexus, and he loses like this huge amount of weight. His cyst goes away. He's having these great results. And she's kind of hitting around saying, hey, I think this is going to work, because she just got involved for him to lose weight. So she's saying, hey, I think this is going to work. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. No, I don't want to do network marketing, but you go for it, but I have no desire to. The reason being is years ago, I'd gotten involved with network marketing and it did not work out. And it was actually just a traumatic thing. So those of you that have been involved with network marketing before and it was not good, you understand what I'm talking about, that it was somewhat traumatic. And so I said no, and I just started sending people to her and encouraging them, hey, the products are great, purchase from her. Well, one day she comes to me and she sits across from the bar at my house. We're neighbors, we're best friends, and she looks at me and she said, Kelly, this is real. You have to do it. And guys, it was like all of a sudden that I just knew this was God, what God was bringing for me. And I said, okay. And I got involved for a business opportunity. Long story short, and I'm not going to go into all the details because we all can share a testimony for hours, right? But long story short is my husband came home and I told him I was going to be a Plexus ambassador. And the funny thing is I tell people, he didn't have this smile on his face when I told him that, because he was like, oh, no, not another thing. But I convinced him to just give me a year. I felt like, we could make this happen. Long story short, I was diamond within a year. And just by the grace of God, it was just a huge blessing in our lives. So I tell you some of that backstory just so you know who I am. I'm 42 years old. I live in southern Oklahoma. I have two boys, Brady, who's 20, and Blue, who's 14. And I've been married to my husband for 22 years. So that lets you just know a little bit about who I am and where I'm from. So one thing I always like to talk about is that we're going to talk about January 27th, and we're going to talk about this workshop. But what Plexus did for me was help me fulfill my purpose. And that's something that I'm going to talk to you about, is fulfilling your purpose in life. I believe that each and every one of us, before we even took our first breath, that we had a destiny, we had a purpose, we had a call upon this earth for us to fulfill. And for me, I truly believe it is this workshop that I'm fixing to talk to you about. And the beauty of Plexus, it was the tool to get me where I believe that God had for me to go. So you may ask, well, what is this workshop? Why would I want to come to it? So let's talk about that. So on January 27th from 9 to 3, we're going to do an all-day workshop in Grapevine. And what this workshop consists of is we're going to start the day off and we're going to talk about identity. And we're going to talk about mindset, because I truly believe that for us to know who we are is that our mindset has to be healthy, and it has to be uh, a positive place. And I am going to take you to that place of how to walk in a positive mindset each and every day, discover who you are, being able to look at yourself in the mirror and love that person. So we're going to talk about identity. We're going to go into mindset, and then we're going to go into letting go of offense. So when I tell you this next thing, you're going to say, Kelly, are you sure? But I am going to teach you how to live a life never to be offended again, never to grab a hold to that offense and take ownership. You know, what I find out is that so many of us are walking around with offense. We're walking around with like this ball and chain where somebody has offended us, and we've held on to it. So this is actually one of the most powerful times of the workshop, is being able to help people identify offense, letting it go, and teaching you how to not be offended again. After we talk about offense, we're going to go in and we're going to talk about boundaries. So I'm going to teach you how to have boundaries with people, with food, with money, just every area of your life. And once we establish these boundaries in our life, it helps us to stay whole and healthy and to be able to be who we were called to be. So I find out that a lot of people say, yes, Kelly, we need to set boundaries, but they just don't know how to do that. So that's what the morning consists of, is identity. And then we're going to go into letting go of offense. And then we're going to go into boundaries. Now, the cool thing about the morning is I'm going to weave my story through here. And a lot of you, most of you, I would say, have never heard my story. And so the cool thing is I'm going to share that with you. And you're probably really going to be shocked and surprised about some of the things that I have to tell you here. But when I started these workshops, that was one thing that God told me that I had to be, is vulnerable and to be authentic. So what you see is what you get. And I really do believe it will touch your heart. Then we're going to go to lunch, and we're going to come back. And in the afternoon, I'm going to teach on John Maxwell's book, How to Put Your Dream to the Test. Now, I've been really blessed this past year. I got my John Maxwell certification. So I'm a certified John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And we have been trained to teach John's material. And one of my very favorite books is the one that I have put into this workshop. And it talks about how to dream. It talks about ownership. You see, sometimes you and I have walked around with somebody else's dream. Maybe your parents put that dream on you. Maybe you had friends that put that dream on you. But I'm going to help you determine ownership of your dream. Is this my dream? And then we're going to go into bringing clarity to your dream, how to plan that dream out with a pathway, get a strategy to it. You know what? One thing, excuse me, that's really cool that John Maxwell teach about is the dip in our life. And the dip is the distance in between our purpose. And it's crazy because that is really it, isn't it? Haven't you seen that graphic where success looks like this? You know, we think it looks like this, but in reality, it goes up and down. Well, that's the dip in between the purpose. And there's going to be a dip, guys, that when we're pursuing our dream, when we're pursuing our purpose, it's going to get hard. And I'm going to teach you how to have tenacity, how to have passion to push through the dip. Did you know just because it's hard, it doesn't mean that's not where you're supposed to be? Because really life is hard. But I'm going to teach you how to push through there with tenacity, with passion to get to your purpose. And then we're going to talk about significance. You know, John talks about success, and success is like you and I finding our purpose, figuring out what we were called to do up on this earth. That's success. But he says success is really not fulfilled unless you step into significance. And if success is discovering your purpose, significance is discovering your purpose and adding value to other people's lives. that is significant. It really isn't that what it's all about, is that who we can add value to, whose life we can impact on this earth today. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what all that looks like. In the beginning of this year, when I wrote this curriculum for the workshop, I felt like God gave me a word, and that word was legacy. And for us to leave a legacy, a legacy to live beyond your life. So someday you and I are going to die. And if we even live to 90 years old, that's not that long. And for us to be able to live past our life, that's leaving a legacy in our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids. I believe even 100 generations later is that our life can impact theirs. We can leave that legacy, even to people that you have on your teams now, the people they have influence with, and then they have families. For us to leave a legacy, which I really believe is our goal, to add value to other people, to make a difference in their life, to affect beyond our years. You and I are going to have to know who we are. We're going to have to know our identity. We're going to have a healthy mindset. We're going to have to let go of offense, guys. We're going to have to learn how to live a life to where it doesn't attach to us. We're going to have to set some boundaries, because that's going to help us prioritize our life. And then we're going to have to discover our dream and our purpose. And we're going to have to bring clarity to it. We're going to have to get a pathway and to walk it out. And those, my friends, I believe, if we learn those things, then I believe that we can leave a legacy and we can change the world around us. So that is what I have tonight to share with you, what the workshop is going to be about. One thing I want to say is that it's the things I'm going to talk about. This is not necessarily a Plexus event, but the things I'm going to talk about are probably what's blocking so many of your growth. Those of you that say, Kelly, I'm just stagnant. I just don't have any growth on my team. Instead of me getting up and talking all day about IPAs and posting on Facebook and all of those things that we need to know about, I think I can share with you these things, and that might be your breakthrough. So bring your Plexus team, bring your upline, bring your downline, but guys, bring your friends, bring your mom. A lot of people bring their husbands, and this is so much more than just another Plexus event.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. I really appreciate it. I was telling before you came on that one of my diamonds, Erin O'Keefe, had you coming to, what was it, New York that you went to?
Mm-hmm.
And she just has raved on and on about that day since you went. Was that in February or January?
That was in, was it April?
It was this year though.
Yeah, I was in Arkansas in February, so I think I was with her in March or April, but yeah.
Yeah, she just said how much it did for her business and for the people on her team's businesses, and that they broke through so many mindsets that they had. And she just, she said, I cannot tell you enough how much I loved her and how much I loved that day. And so I'm really excited to be a part. I was telling them I already got my ticket. And so we're going to have to share the link for it to everyone that's on here. And then when we post the video, I'm going to go ahead and post this video in my team group with the link of how to get the ticket. But they're probably going to sell out, right?
I would think so.
How many people does it hold? Do you know?
400.
400 where we're having it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is there places to have lunch around there?
I need to get with Natalie. She's the one in charge of all that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a great question, but we need to find the information out. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll give them more details about that when it comes closer. But right now they just need to get their tickets so that they can make sure they have a spot. And we will all share that with our teams with this video so that people can get registered right away. And where is it exactly?
It's going to be it's an old movie theater in Grapevine.
Okay. So Grapevine will have a lot of places to eat.
They said it's right in the middle of just everything you can think of. Great shopping, great restaurants. I'm not familiar with the area, but we can definitely put that address out there with this.
Okay. That will be awesome. I'm
And if there's
so
any
excited.
questions, I'm happy to answer any questions
Okay,
if anybody has any.
if anybody has any questions, you can type it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and or unmute yourself and you can ask a question. But I think you pretty much explained it all, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait.
And the cool thing is I don't know if you know this, but I have just finished a book. And so I've been so scattered today, but today I actually finished it and sent it to the editor, and
Wow.
it's going to be back in time for me to have it in Dallas. So I'm so super pumped about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it about what you're talking about there?
It goes along with the workshop.
Nice. That is
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are really excited about it, and we will all be there. And I probably have people coming from Houston and Oklahoma City and Dallas. So I think that it's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for having this Zoom tonight.
sure.
Great.
We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Kelly,
Okay.
thank you so much for talking to us tonight and just for being willing to come to Dallas. We are really, really excited. And I know I'm jumping on right after this to get my ticket this evening. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys all have a great night, and thank you for coming on tonight. Be sure to share this video. As soon as you get the link, share it with other people on your team, and also the link to register for the event. So we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Have a good evening.
Bye.